Hello, this is Tom Zeppeveld from Graphilion with some additional examples of how our interactor can be used to enhance collaboration among journalists. In earlier videos, I shared examples of how you could store the result of your investigation, like for instance here an investigation on an entity called Elite Power, and then quite easily could see with which other cases they overlapped, and show also where the overlap, where the intersection between the diagrams is exactly. And while clicking on items, you could see that there was a node history, a history of all the nodes that you have visited, and that was the source of information for us to also to be able to trace the path that you have walked to get those results. You can see that there is sometimes there are jumps when nodes are not collected, and sometimes there are steps if you subsequent nodes that you have visited really are neighbors in the graph database. And what we have done now is take this one step further, in the sense that we have now found a way to indicate whether different journalists that are doing research are converging or diverging paths of research. And for that, I'm going to take you to our demo platform, since it's easier to illustrate how it works. On this platform, I don't have any history, and I'm running the default query, and that generates a random set of a set of nodes, persons mainly. And when I start clicking, you can see that the history is building up. So I'm going to click on a couple of nodes. Like I would be when I was researching, and now I'm gonna fire a shortcut converging, and that one calculates how I'm doing if I compare it to other paths. So what I see here is that I started with nodes that were approximately 8 steps from the paths of John and Jane, and apparently I'm approaching to their paths. They both are not moving, so that's why there isn't any, they are quite stable, the difference is quite stable. Now I'm gonna get to another part of my graph store, which is completely independent of what I first clicked. So I'm gonna add some stuff to my node history, and then I'm gonna run it again. And let's see what happens now. Okay, so I'm no longer, this is persons, and I'm gonna do some tests, add some test nodes to it. Okay. Now you see that's different. Although I was approaching first, now my distance to their discovery path or their click path or node history or whatever you would call it is different. The logic behind this example is quite simple. It consists of two Cypher queries and the Google chart that I've integrated. Okay, I have a first Cypher query, an elaborate one, but it shows how powerful Cypher is to calculate the average distance between my own path and that of other users. And the second query I use to generate the data in a format so I can easily use it in my Google chart. I don't know if you have seen it, but if I click on my diagram nodes, they are also added again to the node history. So even if if I run this query again, then the chart gives other data. Now, if you apply this to the Panama Papers, that it would give you a perfect way to see whether you and your fellow journalists are on diverging or converging paths of research or exploration. Thank you for watching.